Hey everyone. So for this video, we're going to create some local users on our server 2019 that we've been using. We're going to create an administrative user and we're going to create a non-administrative user, and then we'll log in with both of them, try them out, see the difference. But anyway, so we're back on this 2019 server that I've been working with. So I'm going to go ahead and close out Server Manager and get to the desktop. So to create the accounts, it's in Computer Management. So the easiest way to get there is to right-click down at the bottom in the Start square, right-click on that and choose Computer Management, and it'll open up a bunch of choices here. So we want local users and groups here on the left. So I'm going to expand that out, and they have users and groups. So let's go ahead to Users, click on that, and let's create a non-admin user first. So in the middle here in the white, we can just right-click and say New User, and we'll go ahead and put a name in there. We'll call him Mike, and then his full name can just be Mike User. Description, we'll say he's a non-admin, just so I know who it is, who's who. And I'll go ahead and enter his password. Go ahead and enter his password in. And then what I'll do is I'll say this user, I'm going to give him his password. So I'll say user must change password at next login. So we'll go ahead and create that user, just how it was. So say I want to create an admin user now, just same thing again, right click in here, say new user, and I'll make it mine. So we'll do Jason, Jason user. We'll say admin user so I know who's who. I'll set my password for this one. And since I don't, it's not a secret for me to have my password, I'll go ahead and say my password never expires here, so it's always good. And I'll hit create, and I'll close this out. So there's your two users. Now, right now, they're both just regular non-administrative users. But like I said, I want to make Jason an admin. So I'll go over to groups here on the left, and you can see the administrators group. So I'll double click on that one, and you can see just the regular administrative user that we've been logging in is in this group. So we'll hit the add button down at the bottom, and it's saying, it's going to search users from this location from server A, which we're on. So I'll just go ahead and type in my name of the user I just created, Jason, and I'll say check names. If it works, we should get a little underline here. It says, yep, server name or the domain is, this server, and the user is Jason. So I'll hit OK. And you can see now Jason has been added inside the administrators group. So I am administrator. So I'm going to go ahead and hit apply and OK. And I'm going to close out of Computer Management. So now we can go ahead and check it out and see the difference. So if I go down to the Start square there, click on that, and go up to this user here, left click on that and say sign out. I can go ahead and sign out of this profile, and it brings me back to the log on, and I'll just go to log back in. And you can see now at the bottom left, there's a couple different users. So let's try Mike this time. So it should ask me to change my password. So let me go ahead and enter that, and it says, the user's password must be changed. I'll hit OK. That would allow me to give Mike his password, and I don't know what it is when he changes it to. So go ahead and set him a new password. I'll hit log in. They go ahead and it's changed its password, so I'll hit OK. All right, so it's building Mike's profile here. All right, so now that we're in here, I won't be able to do any administrative functions. So if I go back down to the Start square here and I try to turn the power off and I click on the power button here, it says there are currently no power options available. So because I'm not an administrator, I can't power off the machine. Like if I went to network options and tried to go in here, there'd be some things I can do and some things I can't do. So let's see, I can go to the Ethernet and say change advanced options. I'll click in there like we went and statically set the IP address in the last video. You can see down here are these user access controls. You need to be administrator to do that. So if I click on properties, it says, nope, what's the administrator's password? You can't do it. So I'll cancel out of that. But stuff like details, I could click on that and see that because that's a non-administrative function. But anyways, you can see the difference there. So let me click on the square here, go back up to Mike here and say sign out. And then what we'll do is we'll go ahead and log back in here, and I'll log in as Jason this time, the one we just created. It should not ask me to change my password because I didn't tell it to. So it's got my info here. So like I said, I'm an administrator. So if I go down, so I do see server manager, which the other user did not see. If I go down to the start square and click on the power button, it gives me options to go ahead and shut down or restart the server. Same if I go to the networking choices and go to Ethernet and adapter options. If I want to look at the properties, I can actually see the properties. I can configure the network card. So that's it for this video of how to create local users on a Windows Server 2019. Some future videos, we'll do some storage and some roles and things like that. Thanks a lot.